on the lanes, going against Monacelli, one of 8 players to accomplish over the $1 million mark with 13 championships. Here's Parker's first shot.
That is a lot of help.
Whoa.
Boy, oh boy, it leaves the 6-7 kind of unusual for a left-hander, and you could hear from his wireless mic a lot of help. He knew he threw that way wide. He has to get the ball over to the right-hand side of the 6-pin and slide the 6 into the 7. It's makeable for Parker, but tougher for a left-hander than it is for a right-hander because his ball is going away from the 6-pin. First frame.
Hoping for a lucky bounce. So it's an open frame for a man that's won 2 games this afternoon, 7 strikes in each of the 2, and now here he is. Twice Player of the Year, back-to-back 89 and 90, Amleto Monacelli. First tournament here in 93 for him. Incredible athlete, 5'8", 150 pounds, 31 years old.
Amleto Monacelli just has developed into arguably one of the very, very best bowlers in the world. That open hand at the top of the swing, the high profile. Look at how deep and at the line. We were talking about Parker Bohn being low at the line, that good long slide, the solid pivot step, and on balance. Neither one of these players fall off balance despite a tremendous lift on the ball.
Okay, Amleto is the top seed. He won in Taylor, Michigan from the top seed.
Parker Bohn cannot let Monacelli get away from him, even in the early going. Monacelli will not look back and let him catch him.
So as Parker now moves to the left side, replay.
Headpin does the damage. We talk about the powerful bowling balls these players are using. Headpin sideboard. 5 years ago, Chris, that would have been a 7-pin standing. Right now, the headpin comes flying across, takes out the 7. Parker Bohn has a chance for a double in the 3rd frame. Get up!
All right, cuts Amleto's lead to 11. Amleto with a double, and he is shooting in the 3rd frame. Amleto last year also won the Choice Hotels event in Edmond, Oklahoma. Choice Hotels will be bringing you our tip of the week each week. Dick Weber with his guests. Today was Carmen Saldino.
Amleto waiting for the left-hand lane to re-rack the pins. There are normally 21 pins in a rack. You see 10. There's 10 more you can hear cycling around back there, and we stick an extra one in so that doesn't happen. However, there was a slight delay. Now Monacelli, 2 strikes in a row, 3rd frame. That's about as good a shot as you can see of a solid 10. That ball entered the pocket from that low camera angle. The 6 just flying around the 10.
We mentioned our next 2 stops. Well, this man has won 13. One of them was in Las Vegas in '88. 2 weeks from today in Grand Prairie, he won there in 1991. Amleto Monacelli. Monacelli's had some concerns recently outside of bowling. Listen.
Well, I was working a little bit in my clothing stores, and however, November 27, we had military try to take over the government, and the first thing I thought was just to leave the country and come here with my wife, and thank God, nothing happened. 3 days later, it's like nothing happened, and everything's okay. I'm ready to bowl again.
Okay, we're in our championship match for the Phoenix Open title, then the King of the Hill. More after...
When they take their game to South Central LA, next on the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Yes, 4 of those trotters were here earlier. They're fun. Wide World next. Now it's Parker Bohn.
Come on,
That was big because he had a double working, Nelson, putting it even on the match as we go to a great champion, Mark McDowell.
Ron, great win last week for you. This week you finished 102nd. What are you going to do today that you didn't do all week?
Well, Mark, I came out and practiced last night after the finals was over with, and I used the ball that I hadn't tried all week, unfortunately. But I think I have a good shot today, and I'm going to give it the best shot here.
Okay.
His opponent yet to be determined. This match all even, two great champions. Fourth frame, they are tied going into the fifth. 3 in a row.
He leads by 10. Parker Bohn, who won the first 2 games here in the Phoenix Open, against the tournament leader Amleto Monacelli. Mark McDowell, our On the Lanes reporter today, named the Bowling Writers Player of the Year. Earlier, David Farrar was named the PBA Player of the Year. He was on our telecast last week. Bang, bang. All even again.
Monacelli, who has not only one of the great physical games, but one of the great mental games, is a pretty much of a power player with accuracy. He'll stand to the left side of the approach and then drift a little bit more left. This allows him to swing the ball inside out, and then his target will be right between the second and third arrows. He is even in a match right now, can take a 10-pin lead, 6th frame.
Okay, the winner of this game will get $24,000, but he'll also have a shot at $5 grand. Next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, dreams of glory on the line at the United States Figure Skating Championships presented by Visa. First at 4:30 Eastern and Pacific, Todd Eldridge tries for his 3rd U.S. championship in the men's final live. Then, in a special, our live coverage continues as Olympic medalist Nancy Kerrigan goes for her first national title. Next Saturday, ABC's Wide World of Sports. And, of course, our heroine, Peggy Fleming, will be there doing commentary.
And doesn't she look lovely? Boy, oh boy.
Always.
Parker Bohn keeps the match even. 2 experienced pros in their prime going head-to-head. Parker Bohn 5 strikes in a row after an opening 6-7 split. Monacelli 2 strikes, 10-pin in the 3rd, 3 in a row. 2 players, as we say out in the tour, in dead stroke. Let's just watch. Get up.
Wonderful head-to-head competition, bowling at its finest. Bohn and Monacelli. More after this.
The #1 pitcher on the San Francisco Giants pitching staff, John Burkett, who is also a PBA member, bowled in his 3rd PBA tournament this year and this week, and struggled a little bit, Chris. He's looking forward to a great season with Barry Bonds on his team, and he's enjoying this match we have right now with 2 of the best. Monacelli going against Bohn. If Monacelli strikes here in the 7th, the match will be all even.
Watch this pitch. A little high.
Once again, the 7th frame on the right-hand lane has been the key shot to the match. 7th frame, Dave Traber got an open. 7th frame, Walter Ray Williams Jr. had problems. Now here, Monacelli doesn't get the open frame, but he leaves the 4-pin.
Now trailing by 11.
Monacelli with the full grip, spreads that index finger. He keys off of that. He actually pushes the ball away the target line, feeling the tip of his index finger. Then the big snap.
Amleto's first PBA title came in Las Vegas when he defeated Mark Roth. He's won 12 since, including the Japan Cup.
Match still up for grabs. Parker Bohn at potential 279, Monacelli a potential 258. It's down to crunch time. The last 3 frames, the championship match of the Phoenix Open.
Like Amleto, Parker won the Japan Cup in 1992.
I'll tell you, he just looks bulletproof out there, Chris. 7 strikes in a row and just waiting for that ball. It's so difficult to go out there with a championship on the line and wait for that bowling ball in your swing.
Our King of the Hill challenger, Ron Williams, waiting to meet the winner of the Phoenix Open.
He can't be liking this.
No.
He knows he's got to bowl somebody, but not somebody shooting 250 to 270. Bohn, 21-pin lead, 9th frame.
It's got a hold.
In a row. Held the tactics.
I tell you, you give the pro bowlers an extra half a board to play with and let them get away with 1 shot and you get a big score. Right here in a key frame, Parker knows he pulled it. You could hear it from his microphone. He says hold. You could read his lips. He got the reaction he wanted. Now he has really put the pressure on Monacelli.
He had a strike up. Foundation 9th.
That's a
Monacelli. I think we ought to come back to Fairlane and Squaw Peak more often, the way they're bowling in this championship game. Woo.
Well, Chris, there's a difference between a professional bowler and a bowler who has it for a profession. And these guys are the best, and they're doing the best. Championship match is still up for grabs.
It's a wonderful compliment you just paid them.
They deserve it.
Look at that.
It's right there.
Now 11-pin lead by Bohn.
Seen unperturbed by the situation. 1 strike, he wins no matter what Monacelli does. Monacelli can still win the match, but it's necessary to strike on this ball.
Hey, that 4-pin got tripped.
Oh, how they finish. There's Dave Ferraro, PBA Player of the Year. Amleto's roommate.
And shopping partner. They keep a clothing store in business. Monacelli, potential 258. With this strike, he will force Parker Bohn to at least strike on one of the next 2 balls and a great possibility of a tie.
Oh, that's him.
How big that pin might be.
Amleto, it was a beautiful game. 257. What a player.
It may not be enough. Parker Bohn must fill 19 pins here in the 10th frame. A strike, it's a lockup. 9 spare strike, it's a lock. He has 8 in a row.
Oh, that's 6.
I can see Mary Bohn back in New Jersey and his mother Jean coming right out of the chair.
A winner for Parker Bohn. He tripped the 6th pin. All he needs is just keep it on the lanes. And Monacelli, when that 6th pin fell over, showed the most emotion I've seen him in a championship match. It's going to be a 268 for Parker Bohn. Monacelli bowled great.
And he was the first up, quickly up, to congratulate the Phoenix Open champion, who now has a chance to become our first King of the Hill. Standing in his way, Ron Williams of Fort Worth, Texas, who won in Torrance at Global House last week. The AC Delco champion.